Introduction of ordinance.
Dr. Irwin Jackson. Last week we learned that Scott Maddox doesn't know where he lives. This week we learned he can't remember the business interests he represents. When is this commission going to stand up against self-serving commissioners? A vote for item 12.01 is a vote to reward Scott Maddox handsomely for representing McKibben Hotel Group. It doesn't matter if Scott represents MHG personally through his law firm, his lobbying firm, governance, his business partners, or Gary Jordan. It's simply wrong. Some members of this commission looked the other way when voting for deferred comp. You kept quiet when Mr. Marks was getting rich from city contractors, Honeywell, and ADE. Tonight I ask you vote for the public's interest for a change, not the interests of Maddox, Jordan, and governance. Scott will say he has no interest in governance, a business that he started, the business that owns, quote unquote, his home office, end quote, and where he receives his paycheck. Scott openly takes money from city contractors Waste Pro and Ajax Construction, and these obvious conflicts are ignored. Scott gets paid well from city contractors when he jumps into the mud of dishonesty and greed. How bad does this deal really smell? Gary Jordan, Scott's business partner, has been meeting with city staff and MHG staff and City Hall regularly. Mr. Jordan didn't bother representing or registering himself as a lobbyist. After several complaints, city officials, he resulted in Mr. Jordan paying a $25 amount on August 20th, 2013 to register. Unfortunately, Mr. Jordan did not register governance as a lobbying firm, but chose to register a defunct Zachary Group, end quote, that has not been licensed to work in the state of Florida for years. Why would Mr. Jordan register this bogus company and not governance? Registering governance would clearly expose the conflict Scott has with MHG. Scott continues to hide his relationship with MHG when he removed himself from the dais a few weeks ago during a discussion with MHG and thus did not disclose his conflict. Let's watch and see what he'll do tonight in order to continue this cover-up. Commissioners Gillum, Miller, and Ziffer, it only takes 3 votes to clean up this cesspool in City Hall. You don't need Maddox and Mr. Marks. They are part of the corruption from the past. It's time a new, honest, and ethical beginning for City Hall. Thank you very much. I'll certainly address any questions. I noticed Mr. Jordan's behind us. You might have a few questions for him too. Thank you so much.